the bolt back, and then you fill up the oil from the.
Yep, from the top. After this, everything's easy.
That's pretty cool.
So this is a 2006.
2006.
All right, 2006 Honda Accord 4-cylinder. We have Alex here. Is it your first oil change or second?
First.
Oh, okay.
I've never done oil.
All right.
My first, yeah.
Yeah, your first.
My first complete oil change.
Yeah. So what he did here is he used a 17 millimeter ratchet to take out the nut, and the nut looked like, what did I do? The nut looked like this, and then there is a washer that came out, and he got the washer, and as he got out, he can see the oil dripping, and he added pressure by pushing it in. The last twist, he took his hand out, and the whole thing shot that way, and then he slowly brought this thing closer in, and so now when the next thing is when he's going in, when you put this in, you don't want to over torque it, and that's the hardest part about the oil change, is like how much is too much. But the other thing is, like all things, when you go in, make sure you go out a little bit before you go in, because you don't want to cross thread this. And then he also got the old oil filter out, and that's the orange one right there. He used this tool to get it out, coming from the passenger well, and then later I got him one of these tools or something similar to this. And the other thing is, while he was doing it, he dropped while using this, he dropped this tool in the bucket in the oil pan, but because he did the oil filter first, the oil pan didn't have much oil in it, so when this thing fell in there, it didn't make a big splash. So this is why I emphasize that he should do the oil first before the drain plug. You remember now?
I do, yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
So you're almost home free. The only thing you got to do is put this nut on without overstripping it.
Yeah.
And then if you did, and then this is like an $80,000 car with like a $20,000 motor, now you got to pay for a $20,000 motor.
Really?
Yeah, if you're at Jiffy Lube. So that's why they just charge more for higher end cars for an oil change. It's just more liability. And there's more plastic down here covering this whole thing up.
Yeah.
All right, and then you got to remember how to put these Rhino things on, how to drive them up. And then you can do your old oil change next time. So now we can tighten this nut. Go out before you go in. Yep. And then I'm going to give you this back. This is already set to going. This is set to go out, okay? I want you to turn it to go in. Okay, now this is the hard part. You don't want
able to move the oil.
You don't want to use a cheater bar.
No.
And you don't want to strip that nut. So when it gets to the very end, you're just going to tweak it a little bit.
All right, yeah, I see her.
That's good.
That's good enough?
Yeah.
All right, yeah, that's pretty tight.
Okay. And then you leave everything like this. You pour the oil in, and then you start the car, and you look for 2 leaks. One coming from the filter, and one coming from the nut. So go ahead, clean your nut so it's dry, so if there was a leak, you can notice it. And sometimes, after 1 or 2 oil changes, you need to change that aluminum washer in there.
I should clean up here a little bit, you think?
That's okay. You can't get there. Let's forget it. I mean, if it's dripping, you'll see it. It's going to. So you're all done.